on, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling podcast here on YouTube and now on SoundCloud. Obviously trying to, kind of expand the audience as much as I possibly can, so we're going into an audio and video variation of doing everything right now. But with that being said, this episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle is going to focus around WWE NXT on August the 2nd, 2017, and, honestly, we got a pretty good show here, and some interesting things leading into the NXT TakeOver show, and where they could potentially be going with certain matches on that show to go along with it. Obviously, we know the 3 title matches, but we need to know they have some interesting stuff going for some of the non-title matches that could potentially be happening at the show. So they began the show this week with Johnny Gargano making his in-ring return with Real Mendoza from the Cruiserweight. He was there from the Cruiserweight Classic. Now he's going to be in NXT. At least it seems that's going to be the case here. And both of these guys... they put on a good match to start off the show. It wasn't an overly long match at the beginning of the show, but it was just a good, fast-paced match from both guys. Good to see that they're using Real Mendoza as well from the Cruiserweight Classic. Also good to see Johnny Gargano coming back to the in-ring side. And they pretty much did exactly what they did before with Johnny Gargano. He initially came out to DIY's music. And then he kind of looks at everything and it's like he's looking at this, and this is from he's going forward in his career and everything in that sense, and putting DIY in the past, because when he looks back, they changed the music and changed the Tron for him as well. So definitely going to be interesting to see how Johnny Gargano goes from here on in, and whether or not he's going to be on TakeOver or anything in that sense to go along with it, in that side of everything. And like I said, the match itself is good and very fast paced. You had Johnny Gargano go over in the with the submission hold that they had been using for quite some time. That I don't know, it's kind of like an armbar crossface. Or it's a different variation of the crossface that they've been he had been using, and I'm not sure if what is it? I'm not sure if they have a name for it yet, but he does pull out the victory with that one, and what I thought was a good match. So you had Paul Ellering next. He was cutting a promo on their tag team title match that they make the full-on announcement for. That's going to be Sanity going up against the Authors of Pain at NXT TakeOver. And, basically Ellering in like this storm-ridden, almost warehouse area was cutting a promo on Sanity, and basically just saying what he thinks is going to happen to them at the NXT TakeOver show. Decent promo from Ellering. He's good as the mouthpiece to the Authors of Pain, who kind of always just stand there looking menacing at any given time. And in all honesty, after this one, it's a lot of promo work this week on NXT. Even though, like I said, I felt it was a good show in the sense of where they're going with everything. But it's like it may come off as a lot of talk heavy in the terms of this show, because up next, and like I said, you have a few more after this. Asuka comes out. She cuts a promo on Ember Moon and the NXT TakeOver match with her and Ember Moon, and she does her basic thing where she's like, nobody's ready for Asuka. She's not ready for Asuka, anything in that sense. Ember Moon does come out and interrupts the interview. Or not the interview, but the promo. And she cuts her promo on Asuka saying, she's ready, and that Asuka's not ready for her. This does prompt Asuka to try, extend her hand to shake her hand. Ember Moon goes to do it, and she does the whole psych moment. And as she goes to leave, both of them are looking at each other, and they end up starting the brawl, which Asuka gets the advantage of right off the bat. And as she's celebrating, as she had thrown Ember Moon out of the ring, she starts celebrating with the title, everything in that sense. She had turned her back to Ember Moon, and when she kind of turns around, Ember Moon hits the Eclipse on Asuka and basically leaves her lying. This was a good little bit that they put in there, though. You had Ember, because they had the title like sitting there in the center of the ring. Ember Moon takes a look at the title. It's like she was gonna be the person. She was gonna do that typical spot where they hold up the title and everything in that sense before they have won the title. But she's like, no, the first time I'm gonna hold that title is when I earn it, and everything in that sense. It makes you. It was a nice little touch there. It's like she wants to earn the title before holding the title. She doesn't want to actually celebrate with the title before she's actually gotten it in any way, shape, or form. And I thought it came off as a nice little character touch for for Ember Moon going into the NXT Takeover match with Asuka. So again, up next we have another promo. You had kind of an interview as well. You had a sit-down interview with Bobby Roode. He kind of cuts. And they ask him about everything with Roderick Strong, and I like how he's playing off of this. He's playing Roderick Strong off as the every guy, everything in that sense. And they even bring up this whole aspect of the Bobby Roode lottery bit that they had brought up from before, and he had cut his promo on Roderick Strong saying that he's completely done with him. He doesn't need him, but he expects Roderick Strong to try again at some point in time. And then he also cuts a promo on Drew McIntyre, basically going off what he had said the week before, and then he kind of challenges them to have a sit-down talk, or it's going to be some kind of sit-down next week between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Roode. But before Bobby Roode leaves, Roderick Strong crashes the interview, tries to go after him. He gets held back by security. William Regal comes in and basically says his hands are tied. Roderick Strong wants another shot at Bobby Roode for how the end of their match went from a few weeks ago, but William Regal says his hands are tied. The match is set for NXT Takeover. In that sense, so Roddy kind of is on the outside looking in now, but it makes you feel like that maybe they're making a triple threat here in some way, shape, or form going into NXT Takeover, and they just haven't fully announced it yet, or something in that sense. Or, sorry, I'm kind of coughing and clearing my throat today on everything. But good stuff here. I liked what they had. I like what they had here, and it leaves the door open for a potential triple threat and adding Roderick Strong into the NXT TakeOver title match. Up next, you had another video package for the Street Profits, and they say they're going to appear next week. Basically what you've been seeing through them. They're kind of out there, and they're still doing that thing with D'Angelo Dawkins where he has the bowl and he does the stirring of the pot. I never liked it back when he started doing it, but it looks like he's going to be keeping it in some way, shape, or form. We'll see how this one plays. We'll see how this one plays out. Their video packages have been really good. They've kind of been out there. They kind of you're kind of feeling like this is going to be a team that's going to kind of be out there and everything in that sense, because they've been doing things like Snapchat, all that kind of, that's how their videos have been coming off. It's like Snapchat, Twitter stuff, all that kind of things. And we'll see how everything ends up playing out when they are now going to be live on the NXT program next week. So up next, you had a match with Sonya Deville and Jeannie Von Bemel. I butchered that last name. This was essentially a squash match, another way of showing off Sonya Deville in this match. So decent enough where they're going with Sonya Deville. She's kind of just playing the MMA badass at this point. She wins the match rather quickly, and I like how the ref treats this one. She had Jeannie and a submission hold. Jeannie taps out, and just like what you would see in MMA, when someone taps out, the ref is really quick to try to break up the submission. That's what the ref does here. He breaks up the submission as quickly as he possibly could in the end, making it try to give that feel more of the MMA style with Sonya Deville than what you typically see from other wrestlers. Everything in that sense, it gives it a different vibe, a different feel to it, and it's a nice little touch that they put there. So before the main event, because this was really good as well, and this leads to a potential match that they are gonna possibly do now. You had a Hideo Itami interview, and he basically starts talking about Cassius Ohno, how no one respects him, and he wants that respect, but if no one's gonna be respecting him, he's not gonna show any back, type thing. And they go. And then the interviewer says, "Oh, I'm being told we have to go back to the ring." Hideo Itami just takes the mic and goes out to the ring. So as the referee's trying to tell him that it's like, "Hey, we have a match." You have Hideo going like, "I don't care if there's a match. This is my time now." He's taking over the time, and he wants his respect, and no one's ever giving it to him. So lo and behold, who comes out but Aleister Black? Aleister Black comes out, and this kind of leads you to feel like that they're going to have a match with Hideo Itami and Aleister Black based off of where they go with everything. Like, they both kind of stare down. Itami looks like he's about to go to leave. And you have Aleister Black just looking at him. And then Hideo Itami charges, and then wham! Got hit with the black... Hideo Itami get hit with the black mass right then and there, and you just have Aleister Black sitting in the ring. Good stuff. I like where they went with. This leads right into the main event. They go to commercial break. Aleister Black's in the main event, and then lo and behold, it's the debuting Kyle O'Reilly. I haven't really gotten to see a lot of Kyle O'Reilly stuff back in his independent times, but it was good to be able to see something here. This was a great match between both of them. Very hard hitting, very fast paced throughout the entire match. You had good striking, good good holds, everything in that sense on both sides here. Kyle O'Reilly looking good in his opener with Aleister Black as well. Just great, fun overall match with Aleister Black going over in the end with a black mask again out of nowhere. It looked like Kyle O'Reilly had the advantage. He was going for like a big finishing strike, and then he runs right into the black mask. It's great. It was a great match. It was a lot of fun. I recommend actually going back and watching this match if you haven't done so yet with this NXT show. This was a really good match. Very enjoyable one to watch. So overall, their build towards NXT has been pretty. It's like this week it kind of picked up, it ramped up, and you have some other dimensions going into it now, with the potential of maybe Roderick Strong getting added into the NXT title match, and looking at this point for where it looked like it was going to be Hideo Itami going up against Cassius Ohno. Maybe it's going to be Hideo Itami and Aleister Black now at the actual NXT TakeOver match after their interaction before Aleister Black's match with Kyle O'Reilly. And the match, like I said, with Kyle O'Reilly was a great match as well. With Aleister Black and Kyle O'Reilly was a great match as well. I thought it came off really good this week in the terms of everything with NXT. I did find it rather enjoyable. So with that being said, just for a programming note to end everything here, Impact Wrestling is tonight. I'm filming this on Thursday morning at this point. So maybe an Impact Wrestling review later today, or more than likely tomorrow morning in some way, shape, or form after I've had a chance to watch the show, in that sense of everything. Also, actually nothing in the terms of the wrestling side for programming notes at this point. I'm currently working on all the stuff with Fire Pro Wrestling right now that I want to do, and you may be seeing stuff with that coming up very, very soon in that sense of everything. You'll definitely be seeing stuff during the week of NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam with simulation matches. but but I also have a couple other things that I want to work on with that as well. So with that being said, guys, I thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, and have a great rest of your day.